What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm very excited to give you guys a roundup that is very much needed. It is ridiculous how many products I have. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest roundup yet. And yeah, pretty much the items that I'm going to be talking about is everything except for eyeshadow palettes. I haven't yet reached my 10 eyeshadow palettes that I have my full thoughts on yet. Threshold. Once I do, then I will do yet another roundup on those. But right now I have everything and anything other than that when it comes to makeup. I don't really do roundups of my fragrances, but if you would love to hear about those, just let me know. Typically I just throw my fragrances on my Fragrance Fridays when I have the time. So yeah, if you're wondering this makeup look, I did record it. It should have already been up by now. It would have been my very brief overview of the Caladios Christmas collection. And as I said in that video, I will be bringing you guys more tutorials, so just stay tuned for those. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing the opinions that I have about all of these products, then just keep watching. All right, so like I said, it is a huge quantity of products that I have to round up for you all. So we're going to start off with the easiest products, and then I'm going to break down my organization so that I can do it like I've been doing it, where it's like all the primers, all the foundations, etc. together. So I have two setting sprays to talk to you guys about, and they're both mattifying setting sprays. This one I got in my Sephora box. I was not expecting to pick this up by any means. This is the One Size On Till Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. Now I did not test the waterproof aspect just because I don't really wear makeup in any water activities or like working out or anything. So that'll never be something that I need to know about. But this is definitely an aerosol can, and that's interesting. I've only had one other aerosol can setting spray before. It ended up not completely being the best because the nozzle started to act iffy after a while. So far, I am enjoying this setting spray. I think it is fine. I don't think it's a must-have. It pretty much feels like literally you're taking hairspray and you're just setting your face. So if that's not a feel that you like, I would not recommend this. Other than that, it's fine. Like I said, I technically got it for free, but I really didn't because I paid for the box. But you know, there's that. Then we have a Asian based brand, and this is Mana Kadar, and this is their Matte About You Oil Control Mattifying Mist. I did not find that this overly mattified me, but what I will say is I liked the feel of this on my skin more so than this. It might be just the application, I don't really know, but this just felt more kind of, you're mattifying, but you're not sucking the life out of me, if that makes sense. So between the two setting sprays, I would recommend this. This is available at Ulta. That's where I picked it up. I think I was able to get it for like 5 times the points or something at the time because they were celebrating, I believe, Asian owned brands at the time. So that's why I picked this up. I also knew that I was running low on setting sprays. Lo and behold, I picked up quite a few in the time period that I had that, and it just became a whole thing. So yeah, that's that. Let me pull out the primers because I think I have a couple of primers to talk about. Okay, so I only have one face primer to talk about, and this is the One Size Secure the Blur Magnet Makeup Primer, whatever. So this is just a sample that I received somehow. I don't actually remember, but I did receive it nonetheless, and I did take the time to test it out in these last couple of months. And what I will say is that this is fine. I find that this gives me a very similar finish overall to my Milk makeup. The difference though is that this is, I would say, a more silicone based primer. Like you're actually going to see the pores being filled in with this product, whereas the Milk makeup I feel like is just a little bit more gel like. So I definitely do prefer that finish, that feel overall to this one. I'm not mad to have it. I think I still have maybe 1 or 2 uses in this product, and then I will be done with it. So I'm going to completely use it up, but I definitely will not be purchasing this. Then I have two foundations that I picked up in this last span of time, which is definitely unlike me, but I was just very, very intrigued. And I had actually gotten down to my like, you're able to buy foundation number, and then I went over it, but that's neither here nor there. This is the Haus Labs Tri-Clone Skin Tech Foundation. I have it in the shade 480, a medium deep neutral. I've already done a video on this, which seems like helped a lot of people. That is one of my best videos that I've ever done on my channel. Long story short, I really like this foundation. I think that it gives a really nice natural medium-ish skin coverage wise. I think it lasts really well on my skin long term, and yeah, I just really like it. I'm very happy that I picked this up. There are some things from this brand that I'm not so happy I picked up. You guys have seen that video as well, I'm sure, but this is definitely one of those things I would highly recommend. I definitely did recommend it in my Sephora full face of recommendations video. I don't know how many people took that recommendation, but yeah, this is definitely a foundation that I really like. The other foundation that I picked up during this time is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. This is in 4ND68. I don't distinctly remember why I picked this one up, if it was on sale or if this was the product that I picked up to get me back up to 5 foundations, and then I just happened to really want to try the Haus Labs. I don't remember the nuance of that. But what I will say is this is a really nice foundation again. As well, it has that very skin-like finish. And yeah, I really like this foundation as well. I think this one is better for like maybe photography, like if you're trying to be all high tech and stuff. And I'm trying to think if I have a preference when it comes to the color. I don't think I have a preference when it comes to the color. I think they both really are nice foundations. I like the longevity, although I think this has better longevity in the grand scheme of things. I don't see my oils breaking through either foundation, but I think this one is just a little bit better than this one. I like them both. If I had to recommend one, I think I would still recommend this one, but I think they are both fantastic foundations. And yeah, I look forward to getting even more use out of this. I'm almost done with my Project Pan foundation, which I'm very excited about. And then I will have, I think, only foundations that I picked up this year, which is very exciting. And then I can kind of work through those and kind of keep moving forward. So yeah, good foundations there. Highly recommend both of them. But if I had to choose, I think I would choose the Haus Labs. Then I picked up 2 concealers within this period. One that I actually purchased, the other was a sample. So the one that I purchased is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Full Coverage Multi-Use Concealer. I picked this up in the shade 50N, which I believe is the same shade I used for the previous Sephora concealer that I have gone through like 2 or 3 tubes of. And I really like this concealer. I don't think that this is like a Huda Beauty full coverage, but it's definitely decent full coverage. I like that this is not a matte finish. I like that it gives that skin-like finish. So this will definitely work with a lot of these foundations that I'm keeping in my collection, and I'm going to kind of continue to reach for again. Definitely like this. I recommend quite a few of Sephora's like base products, especially the 2 concealers that I've tried. I really do like them. I wouldn't be opposed to trying the foundation that goes with that. I've heard good things, but I don't want to have too many foundations in my collection. I've been down that road. I don't want to go back. The other concealer that I picked up is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is in 13 Deep. This is quite light, and it's quite a thicker formula than the Sephora. I would say that for me, I prefer a more gel, looser, thinner formula than this thick, creamy formula. That said, I like it. It's a decent formula. Am I gonna run for it? No, but I'm happy I picked up the sample. I definitely will run through the sample, get my points worth or even my typing worth, because I didn't really use points. I just typed a code to get this. So yeah, I'm happy I tested it out, but it's not a love. It's not a love at all. So if I had to choose between those 2 products, I definitely would recommend the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer for you guys to try. So we have a whole bunch of mishmash things. So let's kind of get through the brow products. I have 2 brow products, but they kind of don't rival each other. They're just kind of both new. Okay, so one is actually a new brow pencil. I've told you guys about this time and time again. This is the Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil. And I've tried, I believe, one or two Benefit products before, and I thought they were cute. I really like this. I like this because the amount of use that I think long term I'm going to get out of this product is phenomenal. Typically, when it comes to the roll up brow pencils, it takes me about 3 months to get through them, which is not a lot of time, and that can get very expensive depending on how much makeup you're wearing and like what your budget is. And that's not something that I really want to always be repurchasing. With this product, I can see this lasting a good 1.5 years, which is phenomenal. So I'm very happy about that. Granted, you definitely do need to sharpen the pencil, so you need to be aware of that. But I do like it. I also like the fibery look that it gives. So yeah, overall, this is definitely what I would consider my favorite brow pencil to date, which is saying something. And because I did not mention it, I have this in the shade 4.5. Then the other brow product that I have to talk to you guys about is from Too Faced. This is their Fluff and Hold Laminating Brow Wax. Now, what I love about this is a couple of different things. It gives you an interesting top where you can really fluff up your brows however you like. I generally do that with my brow pencil, so that's not a product or a part of this product that I've needed to use, but it's this baby right here, the actual glue that is great. Now, you do need to scrape off the excess. I scrape off that excess, and then on the same side that I scraped, that's the side that I brush my brows through. And I find that this has the best hold for a bushy brow type effect. Now, previous to this, I was using the NYX brow glue. I think that's good for a budget item, but if you want something that's actually going to really hold your brows, I would definitely recommend this. I've been having a really nice time with this product when I had available in my rotation, and I am missing it. I'm actually missing both of these products, but I do definitely want to get through the products that I had previously, and then I can kind of have some fun with those. That said, there's actually one more brow product that I do want to try, and then I think I'm good for brows for a good amount of time. I don't really try a lot of brow products. It's just not something that I do, but something told me to try these two, and I'm very happy that I did. Now, some kind of random things. I didn't talk about this in the concealers. I kind of should have, but it's like a multi-purpose product for personally me. And this is the Rim Beauty Concealer. They have a pot concealer range. I got it in the shade Deep in 3. Now, I don't necessarily use this product as an under eye concealer. That's why I didn't talk about it during this period. I more so use this as a touch-up. So let's say I don't want to wear a full face of makeup. I can use this to touch up certain areas, and I find that it perfectly blends in with my skin tone or my foundation for the day, and that works nicely, especially if you're somebody who likes to use kind of low coverage foundations, but you have some imperfections in certain places. Having a touch-up concealer really works nicely with that. Also, this is really good with cutting out the underside of my brow or just as an eyeshadow base. So I use this more multi-purpose, so that's why I didn't talk about it then. I think this is a nice product. I really like the color. The formula is nice. It is a thicker cream formula, but it does kind of melt and blend into your skin nicely. So I do like it. I'm very happy that I picked it up. I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of it, but because it's the only product that I have in this kind of implementation in my collection, I'm okay with it. It's going to go in my top drawer, and when I need it, I'm going to pull it out, and it'll be interesting to see how often I use it and if I ever repurchase it. Then I have 3 actual priming products that I use for eyeshadow. So one is from Caladios. This is their Tone Activator Eyeshadow Primer. I think this is a nice primer. It is quite light, and on me it can be slightly kind of ashy. Let me see if I can get I don't know if you guys can see. It is quite light, very pink tone. So if you are very fair, this is going to show up on your skin tone probably deeper than you. If you're somebody of my complexion and you're okay with lighter primers, you're used to kind of manipulating them. If you rub this in enough, it will kind of dry down, or not dry down, it will kind of blend in, but it all depends on how much product you put on your eye. That is something I've learned with this. This does kind of give down a dry finish. It's not like the Natasha Denona where it's wet and it kind of sticks. No, this is dry and it kind of sticks that way. I like it. I think it's a decent primer. Does this top my Half Magic? No, but this is definitely, it could potentially fit in my top drawer. It depends on if I have room, but it could definitely fit in my top drawer. Then we have these two cream shadows. I've been enjoying using cream shadows as bases lately, so I picked up these two from the drugstore section at Ulta. One is the e.l.f. No Budge Matte Shadow Stick in Thrift Shop, and the other one is the LA Girl Sun Kissed Glow Longwear blah blah blah, and this is in the shade Suede French. Now, I don't know if my eyes are just weird, but this one is really nice. It's creamy. It doesn't feel harsh on the lid when I'm actually putting it on, because I will just kind of swipe the product on my eye. Whereas this one, the LA Girl, I feel it's kind of hard. It feels, I don't really know. It's kind of hard. Also, something else that I wanted to highlight is the fact that I think for me personally, and the way that I use them, I prefer a matte, just because I feel like my matte shadows that I put on top don't really show any form of shimmer. Whereas this one, I feel like if I put something on top, there's a slight like shimmerish to it that I don't particularly enjoy. If you want something that is a shimmer, this is decent, but like I said, for my eyes, it's a little bit much, okay? It's a little tough to get it to like cream on my eye. So anyways, if I had to choose between all of these, I think I would recommend them all, if we're being honest, for various people and various techniques and uses. The two that I think I'm going to get the absolute most use out of is the Caladios and the e.l.f. But we'll see. I don't really know. We'll see what happens. Let's get into eyeliners really quickly, because I only have one brand's eyeliners to discuss, and these are from the Caladios range. I can't distinctly remember what the name of the collection was. I want to say Futuristic, but I could be wrong. I think these are really nice, fantastic. I prefer to put these on my lids, like literally in the eyeshadow look. I find that in my waterline, these don't last the best, but I think they're nice. Kudos to them. And yeah, I don't know. They're nice. I like them. Would I recommend them? Maybe yes. Right now they're actually doing a Black Friday sale, which I don't feel in my noggin I've ever seen them do a Black Friday sale. So I would say scoop up anything and everything you want from the brand, and I will be talking about a couple more things from the brand actually in just a second. So I only have one bronzer to discuss in this video, and this is from Jaclyn Cosmetics, and this is in her pressed bronzer range in the shade Bare Babe. I don't particularly love this product. I think that it is a decent product, very good quality, but the finish is not something that I absolutely love. I find that this is a straight up matte finish. I want something that has a little bit of life to it, that can keep the life from my foundation and my powder in my overall base look, and I don't find that this does it. It also is not the perfect undertone for me, so I find that just overall this is not a product that I would overwhelmingly recommend. That said, if you find the actual shade that you think is going to be perfect for you and you prefer more of a matte powder bronzer finish, then I'd say this is decent quality. You can definitely get that on sale. I've seen the brand do 40% off, and I've seen Ulta do a decent sale on the brand as well. Two cream products that I want to talk about when it comes to cream blush. One is from LYS. I finally picked up a cream blush from them, and this is in the shade Inspire. This is a beautiful cream blush. Beautiful, not only pigmented and easily blendable, but the actual shade is just really pretty. Let's go ahead and swatch it for you guys. I definitely think that I could get a lot of use out of this particular shade, and this could be like an everyday cream blush, which is really nice. I do like it, and it definitely does dry down to like a powdery matte finish. I really like it. I wouldn't say that it's like transfer proof. You definitely can get some transfer on there, but I do tend to set my cream products with some form of powder, whether it's just my translucent powder or an actual blush, so it doesn't really bother me that they don't really set down. Then I have this Dominique Cosmetics Cream Blush in Natural Rose. It's been a while since I showcased this. It just got lost in the sauce on my re-testing out box. And what I will say about this is I don't think this is for somebody of my skin tone, but on my skin, when I apply it to my actual foundation, I find that it blends in and it really doesn't give me much pigmentation. Same with it over powder, but I'm going to keep testing it out. I just want to say that as of right now, I have not found a way to make it work. And like I said, I've been working with this product for a little while now. So that's interesting that I still haven't done it, but I have got some new brushes and I know there's one that I think could potentially work. But yeah, so far, definitely not loving this. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose this, especially if you're somebody of my complexion or darker. Then let's just go ahead and jump to powder blushes, because I do have two of those as well. One is from Caladios, and this is the like more orangey toned one. I don't know the name. I want to say it's Sunburst, but I could be wrong. And for this product, I am disappointed, but I also knew that there was going to be a level of disappointment when I picked it up. It's this shade right here, closest to my thumb. And on my skin tone, I just find that it just really does not pop. It's really not saturated and opaque enough to really show up the best. Now, did they have other shades that are people of color friendly? Yes, but those weren't shades that I was interested in. I don't want a Merlot type shade. I have those. I don't really use them all that often. I really get a lot of use out of these like orangier toned blushes, and for me this just did not hit the mark. Not a bad product, not a bad formula, just for somebody of my skin tone, there's not enough saturation there for it to really work for me. A blush that I do enjoy though is from Auntie Pat. So I did end up picking another color from this range, and I'm very happy that I did not pick up a lot of colors from her initial range because she brought this one out. This is the one that has the two-toned blushes in it, and this particular shade coloring is in Cosmic Coral. I really like this. I think that this really bright white based pink would be too much by itself for me, but this slight tan color really deepens it up enough that it works nicely on my skin tone. I have worn this recently in my videos. I can't think of which video, but I know I've worn this recently, and I'm very, very happy with this product. I will, like I said, I did already pick up another one, and I think I'm good when it comes to this particular range. But yeah, I definitely would recommend Pat's powder products. Her products are really, really nice. I'm starting to slowly try more from her brand, but you know, I gotta have the time, money, and patience to pick those things up. Let's finish up my cheeks. I have two more categories to talk about. The first category we're going to talk about is highlighter. I have 4 highlighters to talk about. So one is from Caladios, and this is in the shade Ray Writer. Now, I was hearing a lighter skin complexion influencer talk about this, Lauren May Beauty, of course, and this is in the shade Ray Writer. If I didn't say, I think I did. Anyways, she was referencing how this is a beautiful neutral toned highlighter, and on her skin tone, I feel like it really did just pop nicely. For me, this is just too light to use with my normal brushes. I have to use this with a very, very light hand and a fan brush. If I don't use a fan brush or a very, very loosely applied brush, I just don't like it. I really don't like it in general. I feel like it's just too icy for my skin tone. But you know, it's a decent quality. I have a couple other shades from this range, which is why I wanted to give it a shot, but I'm not particularly in love with this particular color. So there's that. I wish there was a little bit more depth to the actual base so it would work for me, or just like a more translucent base, like a more tanned base, whereas I feel like that's more of a white light base. Then we have from Jaclyn Cosmetics, Va Va Boom. I think this is the winner of the 2 products that I picked up from her brand so far. I love this shade. I know some people of lighter complexion can actually use this as a blush. I use this as a highlighter, and it's beautiful. I just put it above my watch. I absolutely love this highlighter. I think that it applies beautifully. I think that it's the right tone for somebody of my skin tone, and it's not overly glittery. It's just a nice sheen, and it really blends in beautifully with my like more orangey toned blushes that I've been wearing lately. So definitely loving that. Then I also picked up from Melt Cosmetics the shade Genesis. I can't distinctly remember when I picked this up, but I do remember, I believe I picked this up from the brand's website. And this is a very similar technique, or a similar tone to the Va Va Boom, except it has a little bit more pink to it, and I think it's a little bit icier, but I enjoy both of these shades. This is a very smooth highlighter as well. There's no shimmer, no glitter, anything like that, and I really do like it. I believe this is the first powder highlighter that I picked up from them. I know I have a cream highlighter that I actually do enjoy as well, so I'm very happy to slowly be picking up more products from Melt and trying that brand more. And then the last highlighter that I have to talk to you guys about is from Half Magic. I did pick up one order from the brand, and I decided to pick up this particular highlighter. This is in the shade Enter the Glow. Now, this is the one highlighter from all of these that I've talked about that definitely does have some like glitter shimmery particles running in it. I put it in between the two cream blushes on my palm. You guys can definitely see it. It's the one lightest shade that you see. It's definitely Enter space, okay? You can definitely see me walking around. This is definitely something that I've gotten a lot of use out of depending on my mood. Right now, lately, I haven't actually been putting on highlighter. I haven't put it on the last 2 days. It's just some days I do, some days I don't. But this is definitely a good highlighter. I like it, and I definitely think that it works on somebody of my complexion. I don't find that you need to manipulate it like you do with the Ray Writers. So if you're my skin tone and you like a lighter highlighter, I would recommend this one over this one. And then if you are my skin tone and you like something that's darker and without any shimmer, I think I would recommend the Genesis over this one. Beautiful both, but I think the winners of this category are going to be the Melt Genesis and the Half Magic Enter the Glow. Now, like I said, I have one more category when it comes to cheek products, and these are the face palettes that I've collected over the last couple of months. There are quite a few, so just give me a second to run through these. First, I got the Ulta Beauty and Marvel face palette. This is the more orange toned or peachy toned one. I thought that this would be perfect for me. I love a peachy toned highlighter, but these are just extremely light, extremely white based, ashy. They just really don't work for me. Even this darkest one, I just don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Definitely do not recommend that by any means. Next on this stack, I have the Hourglass face palette, and this is the Ambient Lighting Volume 3. I love this palette. I love it so much. The highlighter is really nice. I don't find a huge difference between the two powders. Yes, one is supposed to be a bronzer on some people's complexion. It's not a bronzer for me. This one, some people can use. I just can't use it that way. I use it as a face powder. And this one, I guess I could use as an under eye, but I really don't see all that much difference between the two. So I kind of use those interchangeably, but I love this highlighter. And that will become apparent in just a little bit when I talk about the other Hourglass product that I have. So anyways, next we have the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. No, I haven't talked about this eyeshadow palette because I still haven't touched it yet. That's another problem for another day. But anyways, this is their My Dream Blush Trio, and this is a like, not a love. So I don't particularly love this cream highlighter formula. This highlighter is a little too light for me, and this is too light for me too. I think overall this was just meant for a lighter complexion base, and I'm not the target audience. I shouldn't have picked it up, but I really enjoyed the last cream products and face palettes that I got from her. So I really wanted to try this. I can manipulate it and I can make it work, but I would not recommend this for anybody of my complexion or deeper. Definitely, I would say tan to light complexions. This is where you are meant to shine right here. Then we have another face palette. This one happens to be from NARS. And in this one, I keep forgetting that this shadow is not glued in properly. So in this one, you get 1 highlighter and 5 blushes. And I will say that I really like this palette. I'm very happy that I picked this up. The highlighter looks beautiful on my skin tone, and I can actually work with quite a few of these blushes. This one I have my hand on works, and then these two work. This orangey one, it's a very strong stretch, and this one, it sis ain't working. So for me, I think this is still good for my money. I can still get a lot of use out of this product, and even the 2 shades that don't really particularly work as a blush, I can use them as eyeshadow. Now, am I? No, but that's the justification that your girl can make. So for me, I'm happy I picked up this palette. It's a really nice palette. I don't have very many NARS face palettes, if any. So this was definitely something that I felt I could get my money's worth. And I love the NARS formula, especially the highlighter and the blushes, which are the only things that are in there. The last face palette that I got, see, I told you it was a lot of face palettes, is from Hourglass. This is their ambient lighting tiger unlocked. So I literally have the inside of the tiger here, and I love this palette. Now, this palette, you get different textures and different products. So these 2 are blushes. This is supposed to be a blush. This is supposed to be a bronzer, and these 2 are supposed to be highlighters. For me, I can get use out of both of these highlighters. I can get use out of both of these blushes. This lost in the sauce, okay? And this is pretty much a face setting powder. Now, I don't mind the fact that these two aren't really doing what they're supposed to do. I still get use out of them, but overall for me, I love the finish of the blushes here. These blushes give a nice skin-like finish, which you really can't beat. And I find that I did not get these in the single blush products that I picked up from the brand. So I think from now on, I'm going to stick with these. Maybe they will actually release these single products in this packaging for people who don't want to pick up a big palette. But I think that this and the actual volume 3 is showing that the brand is actually starting to allow, or not even allow, starting to deepen up their range for people of color. So that was a lot of face products, palette wise, that I talked about. If I had to recommend any to pick up, I would honestly recommend these 2. I absolutely love this formula. There's that radiance, that life to it that you really can't get anywhere else. If you want something that's more of a baked gelée matte finish, then I would recommend the NARS. The other 2, if you're my skin tone or deeper, I'm not even recommending to you at all. If you are of a lighter skin tone than me, honestly, all of these would work, but I would still recommend those 3 because I find that they are the best. If you're somebody that needs something to be more buildable, like you don't like something that's straight up pigmented, this one. The other 2 I think are just a little bit more straight off the bat pigmented, which I prefer for my deeper complexion, but you may not. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. All we have left are lip products, and then we are done. So for lip products, I have 5 products to talk about. One that I actually did not pick up. This was once again in my Sephora box, and this is from Charlotte Tilbury in Walk of No Shame. I was very, very excited that I got this shade because this is the shade of blush that I actually have from the brand. So it just felt fortuitous. And this is the shade swatched on my thumb. It's a really interesting kind of raspberry pink shade. I love this shade, and I'm very, very happy I have it. This, in case you are wondering, is in, I believe, her matte formula, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Unfortunately, don't have the packaging anymore, and I can't see any description name on the bottom, but I'm very, very happy to have that shade and to add it to my lipstick collection, and to have not paid for it is a nice bonus. On the opposite side of the price wheel, we have one that I absolutely love as well. This is from Maybelline in the shade Untainted Spice. This is a beautiful brownie lip color. This one is a little bit more light, and this definitely has a sheen to it. I love putting this over like a lip liner, and I just find that it makes my lips look nice and plump, juicy, and it's a really comfortable formula, very cheap formula, and you can really look nice with it. Then I have three kind of lip cream-esque formulations. One is Kaylina from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is a really nice formula. It's a yellow based brown, so you guys know I absolutely love this type of shade. I really am getting a lot of use out of this. Is a creamy kind of whipped moussey liquid lipstick type formula. This does dry down, which I appreciate, definitely not mad at it, and I do enjoy it. The other two I have to talk to you guys about are from Caladios. These are new to my collection, but I was able to really dive into them quickly. One is in Skin Show, the other one is in Cold Smoke. Let me see if I can find some room to swatch them really quickly. So Skin Show is on the bottom and Cold Smoke is on the top. Once again, absolutely love this formula. This is like a whipped lip cream formula. I find that this can really give you that blotted lip effect that is very, very popular in Asian based countries. I love this formula. All of these formulas are really, really good. So I don't know if I could really give you a favorite. Okay, I'm going to give you a favorite between the more liquid formulas and then more the bullet formulas. That's how I'm going to do it. So for me, if I had to choose a favorite, because I think I'm going to get the most use out of it, between the two bullets, I think I'm going to go with the Maybelline. This tone and the finish, I think it's just going to be something that I'm going to reach for more than the Charlotte Tilbury. Like I said, I think the Charlotte Tilbury is great. I'm very happy to have it, but I don't think I'm going to reach for that more raspberry tone, more so than more brown tone. I just love my brown tone lip products. And then between the three kind of lip formulas, I think I'm going to reach for this one more just because it has that yellow based undertone. Once again, this is in the shade Kaylina. So yeah, that was a lot. Oh no, I forgot one thing because I pulled it aside. The Rare Beauty mascara in the shade Black. This is the current mascara that I'm going to be using for the next 3 months, and I absolutely love it. I think this is going to be another favorite mascara that I will repurchase until I find yet another one. So yeah, I'm very happy to have got this. I believe I also got this in the Sephora box. I don't believe I picked that up. So we have one more category left. I'm sorry guys, I should have updated more frequently, but life. So I have two brush companies that I am ready to review the brushes that I picked up. So first is from BK Beauty. Now I picked up the Angie Hot and Flashy collection when I believe it was like something like 50% off. And I believe I picked up maybe just this. I don't distinctly remember, but these are really good brushes. I think these are on par with some of the other kind of synthetic but really good quality brushes. This is the brush that I was saying could potentially help the Dominique Cosmetics blush work on my skin tone. Give me some time to test it out. I need to clean the brushes obviously, but then I will. I think the shapes are really interesting. This one is slightly bigger than I thought, so I would say use this one under for concealer, not for your primer. I just think it's too big. The others are unique shapes that I would have never thought to use, but I've been able to get use out of them, so that's always nice. And I think overall, just the texture is really nice, and I'm happy. I definitely understand why so many people have multiples of the A507. I definitely think it is worth buying a couple extra brushes. And then I told you guys that I was going to be picking up, I forgot to showcase one of the bigger brushes for the BK Beauty. And then we have my Sonia G collection that I picked up more so recently. So I picked up her Faced Fusion set, and I also picked up I picked up a couple of the brushes from the Face Fusion set, and then I picked up the full eye bundle. So give me a second because I just got too much stuff in my hands. Okay, so I think these are the three brushes that I picked up. Now, there was a mistake, and when the mistake was corrected, it was still a mistake, but it is okay. So I believe these are 3 brushes from the face collection, the jumbo base and the mini base. This one might be in the face bundle as well. I really don't remember. Either way, it's Sonia G, right? So face, I love them all. Absolutely love them all. I've used them all. I think her brushes are just fantastic. I've always enjoyed her quality, and I definitely highly recommend. There's no other way to say it. I highly recommend it. But good gracious, this has been a long video. I apologize. I really shouldn't wait until everything is so much to really review, but life got in the way. And I didn't say, if I chose between the 2 brush companies, I would say Sonia G because I love her. But if you can't afford her, understandably, definitely BK is really, really good as well. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one, but I'm happy you guys rock with me. Comment down below with a skull and bones if you stayed to the very, very end. And with that said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.